Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dazzling Dave, and this is going to be my match preview of Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers, why I'm going to be taking these to the game, and also the transfer deadline latest as I record this vlog. All coming up next with thoughts, predictions, preview, team news and a whole lot more. So before we get on to the Man U Wolves preview and an in-depth look at that, obviously it's transfer deadline day. It's also the day that the Great Britain leaves the European Union, both at 11 o'clock, and as I record this it's about 5 hours out from that 11 PM deadline. So in terms of main news, there has been no first team signing so far that's come in for Wolves today. Obviously I reported on Daniel Podence yesterday. That's the main man that Wolves have been after. Obviously we've been looking at this striker, this backup for Raul Jimenez, and I'll come on to that. Still 5 hours to go. Anything could still happen, but there isn't a lot seems to be happening at this point. But as I say, if there's something major that does happen, then I'll have to do another vlog on that as it comes up. In terms of before I come into the one incoming that there's been obviously quite a lot of outgoings today. It's just been announced that Benny Ashley Seals going on loan to Accrington Stanley for the rest of the season. Jordan Graham's gone out on loan to Gillingham for the rest of the season. I do believe his contract's out at the end of the season anyway. Shrewsbury have signed Harry Burgoyne, young Wolves keeper, and he's gone there. Obviously he came through the academy, had been a Wolves for a very long time. He played in the famous FA Cup 2-0 victory away at Anfield, I believe, as well on that particular day. We wish him all the best. There is one more outgoing which I'll come onto that in a minute, but Wolves have also signed very promising youngster Luke Matheson, I think I've said that, from Rochdale, for £1 million, and they have immediately loaned him back to Rochdale for the rest of the season. He's only 17, as I say. He passed his driving test yesterday. He came to fame when he scored against Manchester United at Old Trafford, a goal. Very young, lots of Premier League clubs have been interested in. Wolves have secured him. He's definitely one for the future. £1 million, as I say, for a 17-year-old. So that's something someone to watch. But the biggest one today, as I touched on yesterday, Ryan Bennett. Ryan Bennett. He's gone on loan with a view to a permanent move to Leicester. I said he might be going out, and I was hoping not. You know, as I said, the tears are flowing. Dad's obviously my dad's favourite player. He's often mentioned on the vlog, even when he's not playing. He's left, and my dad still not met Ryan Bennett to shake his hand. He did give him, you know, what a great player. He gave him his shirt from the Europa League, and that's framed on the thing. But Ryan Bennett has gone out on loan, potentially permanently, to Leicester. From what I understand, it's a 6 month loan with a £5 million purchase. Wolves got Ryan for on a free. He's 29. He hasn't played that much for Wolves. He's sort of like, obviously, but he's massively key in the promotion season and last season. To me, I would have liked to have kept him, but it is a massive profit. And obviously we've got to wish Ryan all the best. He's an absolute gentleman, such a lovely man and a gentleman, as I say. He did that for my dad. My dad's never actually met him, and I still hope that at some point again, maybe if he does come back, he will get to meet him. Well, hopefully he will anyway at some point. But like, from what I understand, it's an option to buy, not an obligation, unless Ryan plays X amount of games for Leicester, and then it turns into an obligation to buy. So that we'll wait to see on how that pans out. But yeah, he has got 18 months left on his contract currently. Ryan Bennett, my dad's favourite player, his little hero, is now going to be playing for the Foxes for the remainder of the season. Whether he's a starter or a backup, I always thought that Ryan, personally, from Wolves' point of view, would have been a great backup for Wolves. Never let us down, but he wants game time as well. So, and Nuno's spoken about it and wished him all the best. He said all the parties are happy, so you can only go on that. But Wolves, you know, letting another senior player go out. We've only really had one senior player come in. We've kind of like had 3 go out, with Jesus for Leggio, Patrick Catroni, and now Ryan Bennett. And we've only really seen for the first team, actual announced for the first team, Daniel Podence come in at this point. Still time for something to happen, obviously, but there you go. Leave your thoughts about that. Let's now move on to the actual Man U versus Wolves preview. So on to the game itself, Man U versus Wolves at Old Trafford, 5:30 kickoff. Straight off, let's go on to the team news. Wolves, we know, have got Ruben Vinagre. He's not available, but apparently, according to Nuno, both Diogo Jota and Willy Bolly are available, not just for the squad, but they can start if needed. We'll come on to what I think my team will be later on. So out for United is Nemanja Matic. He's suspended after a red card in the FA Cup in midweek. Whilst Marcus Rashford, who also got injured in the replay against Wolves with his back, he's out. Scott McAnamy is out as well, and also Paul Pogba. But who is available for United is their brand new signing, Bruno Fernandes, 46.6 million pounds. He is available, and with the midfield that they've got out, I wouldn't be surprised to see him either starting or definitely on the bench. And the same could be said as well, probably, for Daniel Podence from Wolves. On to the head-to-head, and United's last home defeat by Wolves was a 1-0 top-flight loss in 1980 when Melives scored the only goal. Man United have lost just 2 of their 11 league games this season against teams in the top half of the table prior to the latest rounds of fixtures, compared with defeats in 13 matches versus clubs in the bottom half. They could also lose 3 successive Premier League games without scoring for for just the second time. It also happened between April and May 2015. And the Reds have won 11 and lost 12 of their 32 league matches since Igor Solskjaer became the permanent manager, both scoring and conceding 43 goals. Another interesting fact is Man United's record of 34 points after 24 games of the season was their worst total at this stage of the season since the 1988-89-90 season, when they had just 25 points. So, on to some Wolves stats and facts. Wolves could actually win consecutive away league matches in the top flight for the first time since 2011, but defeat would be their 100th defeat in the Premier League. Wolves have kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 16 fixtures, and Wolves have only led for 305 minutes this season, the worst record in the division. They've conceded the opening goal as well in a league high 17 matches, including each of their past 8 games. However, the one silver lining, that Wolves have won 18 points from losing positions in 2019-2020, 6 more than any other side. Raul Jimenez has been directly involved in 20 goals in his last 22 appearances in all competitions, scoring 12 goals and assisting with 8. So there you have it. Some interesting stats and facts there. In terms of the game itself, what I think the lineup will be. Just before I get onto that, obviously, I want to talk about the transfers. With Raul Jimenez, one of the key facts that was brought out there is how influential he is on Wolves. And the one worry I have, as I'm standing here right now talking, is Raul Jimenez is our main striker. He scores goals, he provides assists, he holds the ball up, he's strong in the air. And we have brought in Daniel Podence. We have got some fantastic attackers, but we've let Benny Ashley-Seal go out as well. Patrick Catroni's gone out. I think most Wolves fans were hoping they would bring in someone that can help Raul out. He does play so many minutes for Wolves, and God forbid he got injured what backup have we got? Yeah, we've got players that can step in, but and do bits of his role, but can they all do what he does? We haven't got another Raul Jimenez type player, in my opinion. Obviously, Nelson Oliveira was mooted very, very strongly, and AEK Athens wanted something like an extra $1 million or $1.5 million. I've spoke about that. You know, the cost of getting how far in the Europa League, potentially winning it, who knows. Premier League places, that $1.5 million, if Raul got injured and the goals dried up, that money could go anyway in terms of the places. So a bit disappointed that it looks like Wolves aren't going to bring in that striker. It still might happen, we don't know yet. But how are you feeling if we don't bring in a striker to back up Raul? I know we've got Jota, Neto, Adama Traore, Podence and all of those, but they're not in the Raul Jimenez mould. We have let Catroni and Benny Ashley-Seal go out, as we've talked about. How are you feeling? Do you think we'll be okay? We do trust in Nuno and the squad and the team, and Wolves always try and get good value. But I just wonder whether that potentially could bite us in the bum. It's taking the risk that Raul does not get injured or fatigued or even get suspended. Leave your thoughts below on that. Team news. So Rui Patricio is going to start. Cody's going to be in there. I think Bolly will probably come in straight back into the lineup on the right hand side for this, and Saiz will keep his place on the left. The middle's going to be Neves and Moutinho, and then you're going to have obviously your Johnny Otto, Doherty, Adama Traore, Raul Jimenez, and I think Pedro Neto's done enough to keep his place. You'd have the likes of Daniel Podence and also Jota on the bench, Dendoncker on the bench as well. With the way Wolves play now, we can move that system around 3-4-3, 5-3-2, 3-4-1-2. We've got kind of a few varieties of that. Obviously, it's always got that three at the back. I do think we've got the variety now to mix it about. We've seen the 3-4-1-2 work very, very well for us recently. The second half against Southampton, against Liverpool as well, with Traore having a little bit more of a roaming role. Wolves leaving him upfield into the centre circle for the breaks as well. So it'll be interesting to see how we do line up in terms of score prediction for this one. You know, looking forward to the game, and it's a big game, really. Let's face it. United 5th, you got Tottenham, I think 6th, Wolves 7th, all on 34 points, all with that shout to get after Chelsea, 6 points clear for that 4th Champions League position. And obviously, the higher you finish, the chances are you get, if you don't fall short, you can get straight into the Europa League rather than having to go through the qualifying route. So it's a big game for Wolves. We've had a bit of a rest, which is good, after a long lot of matches, and after the United games are going to get a little bit more rest, and then they're off to hot weather or warm weather training in Marbella again, somewhere they like to go to set us for the big push for the final third of the season, shall we say. But I'm going to go with Man United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. Please, can we score first? Can we please score first? I think if we score first, we're in good thing. But yeah, Man United 1, Wolves 2. You never know, it might even be 3. But I really fancy Wolves to win this one. And one other thing, obviously, I'm going to be taking these. Those of you that watched my channel for a very, very long time will remember Bill. My friend sat next to me for 20 odd years, aka Sean Connery. You know, we all miss him very, very much, and he always had the load of banter with his workmates, or a lot of them were Man United fans. So I promised Bill I would do something when we play Man United. So I'm taking these stickers. I'm going to try and stick them on a few Man United things in good jest, to remember my friend, who we all miss incredibly very much, passed away just before Christmas, very, very suddenly, and we miss him very much. And the last thing, obviously, that Bill said to me before he did pass were two things: Jota getting the hat-trick, which he did. The game after, actually, in the Europa League, and that Wolves are going to win the Europa League. I hope that does come true, but we will never forget you. And he always said, we both always said, always Wolves. So look out for some more information on what we're doing with the Always Wolves stuff coming up over the weekend as well. So I really hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and let's hope we get the win. Let me know what you think's on the transfers and all of that jazz on the score prediction, the team news. And until the next one, I'm Dazzling Dave. Always Wolves.